Okay, so welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. Just at the car wash, just got finished. She's all dry, so I'm pretty happy about that. And just wanted to do a very quick rant about Nova Scotia Power, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there, especially on Facebook, about the rate hikes that are going on at 1.7%, and people complaining about how much the CEO is making. Yes, the CEO is making a lot of money, but there is a good reason for it. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about how I get free power for the rest of my life, and how you can too, and why you should do it, and what makes Nova Scotia Power so special, and why I think it's actually doing a very good job. So unlike my other videos that you might have watched, I actually do agree with Nova Scotia Power, and I really do think they are doing an amazing job. And if you work for Nova Scotia Power, and you're one of those men or women that climb those poles to keep our power going, thank you so much. Because it seems like it is a very hard job to do, and I wouldn't want to do it. So I'm glad that you are doing it and are doing it safely, and I hope you continue to do it safely, because we do enjoy our power. So anyways, Nova Scotia Power was actually started way back, and it was a Crown company. And anyways, not Nova Scotia Power, but anyways, Nova Scotia had a power company owned by the Crown. And then it got taken over by Nova Scotia Power, and then of course bought out by a holding company, Emera Fuels, which owns it currently and has a headquarters here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. They're based right on the waterfront. You might have seen their new fancy building down there. It looks amazing. And they have about $32 billion in assets, which is insane. So Emera also owns Tampa Bay, Florida Power Company, which has even more customers than Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia has about 500,000 power consumers, while Tampa Bay alone has 700,000. So to have this company actually headquartered in Halifax is an amazing opportunity for Nova Scotia, and we really need to praise them for what they're doing, and that they're keeping high-paying jobs here in our province and keeping their headquarters staff here in Atlantic Canada. So all that money that they're getting from their Caribbean operations, their Tampa Bay, Florida operations, and even in Quebec and Ontario, it's all coming into Nova Scotia, which we need to be very proud of, that we have a very smart company that knows what they're doing. So Nova Scotia Power, through Emera, is actually a publicly traded company, which means every single Nova Scotian and anyone in the world can buy a share of it and have a voting say in what goes on. And because of that, it's definitely different than Bay Ferries, which is a publicly owned company that doesn't have to answer to anybody. So you sitting there watching this video can be one of the owners of Nova Scotia Power. So every time you get your power bill and you're paying it to yourself. Now, how I get power for free is totally different, so please watch the end of this, because I will gladly explain. So I'm very happy with Emera. They're a very successfully publicly traded company. And took a Crown asset, which was Nova Scotia Power, and turned it into something that the public could buy into and enjoy the growth potential that it has. So I like that they're very transparent. Any publicly traded company, all their files and paperwork, and of course all of their numbers, have to be shared and made public. So if you want to know how much the CEO is making, you can find out. It's very easy to do it. If you want to know how much revenue they're bringing in, you can Google it and find out all about them. Unlike Bay Ferries, where we have no idea how much the CEO is taking, we know exactly how much the CEO, which is Scott Belford, is making. So anyways, the responsibility of that company comes down to the shareholders. So if you're one of the owners of Nova Scotia Power through, of course, the holding company Emera, you have the right to go to their annual meetings and state your opinion and be listened to by them, even if you only own one share, which right now is trading for around $54 on the stock exchange. So anyways, I'm going to go into how I get all of my power bills completely paid for every year for free, and how you can do it too. So basically what I did is I said, okay, how much money do I need to buy in shares to pay off my power bill? So if you're like me and you have a girlfriend who's constantly doing the wash all the time, your power bills can actually be pretty high. So every time you look at that bill and you see that there's a rate hike for the next year, you just kind of go, why? I don't want to pay any more. I'm already stretched to the max, and my kids are already running up the power meter way too much. So basically what I looked at, and I said, okay, if I just bought $28,000 last year worth of shares which was at $42 a share, the dividend alone on that purchase, like for owning those shares, would cover my power bill. I pay on average about $100 a month for my small place, and a dividend of 4.3% is what it's been going on, and it's the norm for that company. Pays me about $1,200 every year. Of course, this is paid in quarterly installments, but more than covers my power bill for the entire year. So my initial investment, though, even went up even more. So I invested $28,000 at 42 roughly dollars a share, and currently, like I said, the share price is sitting at $54 as of today, July 2nd, 2019, which means that I've seen a growth rate of 28%. So right now, in the account, there's about $36,000 in total off of that $28,000, which is a very good growth rate. And I feel like the CEO of Emera is worth all the millions he's being paid, because he's allowing this to be publicly traded so everybody can get to this. So now you're going to say, okay, John, I don't have $28,000 or however much money I need to be able to get that dividend to pay me the money. So as you can see, I have a very expensive car behind me, but I didn't always have a very expensive car. There are a few years where I said, okay, instead of paying a huge car bill every month, I'm going to convert that into buying shares so I can cut down on my expenses. And I bought a 2001 Chrysler Sebring, four-door sedan that was kind of falling apart, and I did a lot of the work myself, and of course my buddies that have garages helped me out too. And I had zero car payment, and I took that money to start building up a savings account so I could get in on some of these investments to start lowering my cost of living. So if you're wondering how do you save up $28,000, next time you're looking at buying a brand new car that costs $32,000 or more, think to yourself, maybe I can suffer for 2 years or so, buy a cheap car for cash, save up that money, put it into an investment. Now right now in Canada, you're so lucky because we have a tax-free savings account. So you can open that up through any bank that you have, especially the CIBC and the RBC and the Scotia Bank, all of them have them. You can put your money in there. It's all tax-free. You can buy shares in Emera, and then whatever growth you have, so my $28,000 that grew to $36,000 over the last year alone, right? That growth isn't even taxed. So it's totally tax-free money for you. And then on top of it, I actually got a check for $1,200 roughly. Obviously there's a lot of pennies involved and stuff like that, that pays my power bill for me. Not automatically, they give you a check, you can do whatever you want with it, but I use it to pay off that power bill, and it flattens it to a zero. So every year I see those power rates go up, I don't really care. I think they're very reasonable rate hikes. I mean, 1.7% isn't much when you consider the share price went up by 28%. But even if you look at it nationwide, a 1.7% rate hike on power really isn't bad at all. I mean, inflation alone is up over 3%. So, I mean, it's under inflation. So in my mind, it's still undervalued in that way. And I think in Nova Scotia, we're getting a very good deal considering our geography, our weather, and how far apart everybody lives. We're in Yarmouth, which is the end of the line, and we got a lot of roads way out of town into Kemp and Cannon and all through there. So I think they're doing a very, very good job. I'm really happy that they've stayed in Nova Scotia and built their huge skyscraper. Not skyscraper, but huge building there, and kept their headquarters staff here in Nova Scotia. So Nova Scotia Power and Emera, thank you so much for doing a good job. And if you want free power for life, all you got to do, invest in them. Buy a few shares. You can slowly wrap it up. Like I said, instead of making a $500 car payment, put $500 a month away and slowly grow up that tax-free savings account and buy shares every month until it subsidizes completely your power bills. So thanks for watching.